Good morning from Zurich. Again, I've got weird sleeping problems. I tend to take a nap in the afternoon, lying in the sun for 3 or 4 hours, and then I'll sleep at night. I'll sleep 3 or 4 hour session, then I'm up at very early in the morning. But anyway, I'm at the Airbnb apartment. This is actually a wardrobe with mirrors on it on the wall. This is the bed. I've been sleeping on, basically trying to lie flat on my back at night. At first it was really uncomfortable when I got here. I was super tender on my back from that balloon kyphoplasty and stuff, and I was sleeping on the couch instead. But I'm trying to lay flat on my back to get that zero, the least amount of pressure on the disc as possible when I'm sleeping at night. So I'm lying flat on the back. I'm not sleeping on the side. There is a difference in pressure on your disc when you're on your back and on your side. Again, there's a video I've liked. You'll see it on my YouTube channel if you look down to like videos. It talks about different positions and how much pressure it puts on your back. But anyway, I've been lying flat here. The only thing I wish it was I wish the bed was raised up on some blocks or something, maybe a little bit taller. This is a little bit shorter. It would be easier to get in and out of bed if this is a taller bed. But anyway, all kinds of mirrors in this bedroom. I want to talk about medicine. People have asked me what I'm taking for pain, what I'm taking. So when I first got out of the, after I first had artificial disc replacement surgery, I was pretty much taking 2 different items for pain. And one of those being opifrin, which is basically ibuprofen. The other pain medicine that Dr. Rischke was providing was let's see if this will focus in on this. I don't know if it'll focus in on this. It's and over here it's called Dafagal. Well, Dafagal, if you Google it and go down, these are 1 gram tablets. If you search down to it, it's basically Tylenol, acetaminophen. So this particular, 1 gram, it was a box with like 20 pills in it, is it was $7.30 Swiss franc, which is almost dollar for dollar. I'm just going to say $7.30. In comparison, you can get a generic over-the-counter tablet a lot cheaper than that, about half price pretty much, depending on where you get it before you come over. But anyway, here in Switzerland, you cannot buy this over-the-counter. They have a national healthcare system. You actually have to go get a prescription to get Tylenol over the counter, and then you present your card at the pharmacy, and then you don't pay for it. Or I don't know if there's a copay or what, but anyway, you have to have a prescription to get Tylenol in Switzerland. But the national healthcare system pretty much covers the doctor's visit, stuff like that. So I was taking that and the opifin in the hospital. I didn't have any pain in my back the first 4 days. It was the abdominal pain, and I was getting over the flu. So it was, that's what it was. But anyway, anytime you're taking a ibuprofen or Aleve, Motrin, any of the over-the-counter medicines, and you're taking them day after day after day, I'm currently taking a prescription NSAID, which is a little bit stronger. It's basically the generic Celebrex. These you got to take like every 4 hours, and it's a pain. This one, it's twice a day, once in the morning, once at night. Works a lot better than ibuprofen. But anyway, anytime you're taking ibuprofen, Motrin, Aleve, and all that other stuff, you have a risk of gastric ulcers because it messes up your stomach acids and stuff like that. So anytime you're taking NSAIDs on a daily basis, you need to pair that with I don't know how they call it in this thing here. I'm going to get my reading glasses on. You need to pair it with, I'm trying to keep myself from getting in the shadows and be able to see this thing fine. Basically a propin pump hamar. Prilosec. generic Prilosec in the U.S. It is an example of a protein pump inhibitor. You got Zantac, you've got some of the other things. Prilosec's probably the best thing to take, in my opinion. I mean, you can talk to your family doctor about it. But anyway, if you have to buy Pantazol, 20 milligrams, this box is $14.25 for 15 tablets. So bring generic Prilosec with you. It's cheaper. So enough about those two, and then I'm going to go on to what I brought with me that I'm taking. I wasn't having to take any of this stuff the first 4 to 5 days, but on day 5, on that drive over, I brought up my arsenal of synthetic opiates, basically Nucynta 100. This is the equivalent of an Oxy 15 milligram or 50 tablet. I cannot take oxycodone medicines. They make me itch like crazy. I can't sleep. I don't have that with the Nucynta 100. I initially started out with tramadol. Sometimes it's known as Ultram or something like that, 50 milligrams Ultram. I initially started out with just taking these, then I had to increase it. I'd start with like 2 of them in the morning, get 100. And I was doing like 1 every 4 hours. My doctor warned me that the half-life on that's a little bit longer, and I should only be taking this every 6 hours to keep the level in my blood properly. But anyway, eventually this tramadol wasn't cutting it. I would also have some, I'll just be honest, I wasn't having erection problems, but I couldn't get an orgasm if I was taking this tramadol. Didn't have that problem with Nucynta. I initially started with a lower dose of Nucynta. I initially started with the 50, half the dose of that. It wasn't cutting it. I was telling the doctor I was trying to still work at this point. He switched me over and started giving me the 100 Nucyntas. If you're taking, any kind of opiates, you run a risk for what you call opiate-induced constipation. I experienced severe problems with that when I first switched. I wasn't having that many problems with this, but when I switched over and started taking this, I did have severe constipation issues. I would be stopped up for days and have to do a flush with that magnesium citrate stuff to clean myself out. My family doctor, Dr. Eric Harbison, recommended taking picolate. It's basically a stool softener and a stimulant laxative, so it stimulates the flow through the small intestines and large intestines. So anytime you're taking an opiate and you're having constipation, take something to relieve it. There's other options out there. You can take Miralax. You can actually mix Miralax and drink it and take it with every meal. I find the picolate. This bottle was $10, by the way, in a pharmacy in Chapin for, what is that, 100 tablets? $10 for 100 tablets. 10 cents a piece. But anyway, my rule now is if I'm taking one of these, I take one of these with it. So I'm taking about 3 or 4 of these a day if I'm taking 3 or 4 days of these. So anyway, I'm actually back on the Nucynta 100 right now. This is stuff I brought with me. This is not something that Dr. Rischke prescribed for me. But anyway, so if you're taking an opiate that you run the risk of opiate-induced constipation, take something with it. He also prescribed this stuff, some kind of drops for pain midday and morning. I'm not really sure what Nalgene is, but anyway, Nalgene was Nalgene-trophin. Nalgene-trophin was $5.80. I really don't know what it is. I I'm taking Essential 100 now for pain. I haven't been taking this. I just didn't want to risk mixing something I didn't know what it was. So I also brought some other stuff with me. This was I was getting over the flu when I was here in the hospital, and they were giving me this as like an anti-mucus thing, kind of like Mucinex or something. They were giving me this in the hospital. But I also brought some generics along, some nasal spray, some allergy tabs. Make sure you bring a couple of tubes of good chapstick. This is the best stuff ever. All the coconut cream. Initially, I was using a Burt's Bees pomegranate stuff, and girlfriend couldn't figure out what I was wearing that smelt bad to her. I loved the way the pomegranate tasted on my lips, but she thought it smelt bad. She didn't like kissing me because of the way my lips smelled and tasted. But coconut cream, they've got a pineapple one, really good stuff here. But anyway, so what I'm taking for my low bone density problem, I might have celiac disease. I'll go more into that later. But anyway, actually, I'm going to save that for a separate video of what the supplements I'm taking there. So anyway, my scar has been healing up. It's day 16. So I'm one thing I bought at the pharmacy is a anti-scar cream. And what this does is you put a little bit on your scar, and then it has a little ball that you know, it's a textured ball. You roll it up and down the scar. Having, you know, had my previous wife go through a C-section, this is one of the things that they recommended was like a scar cream. Basically, it's supposed to help do lower scars. This was $26 at the pharmacy right around the corner from Dr. Rischke's office. I do recommend bringing a variety of generics with you because you cannot get them here without a prescription, and they will cost a little bit more. So, you know, bring some cold medicines, bring some Mucinex, bring some Sudafed, bring some anti-allergy medicines. Make sure you get your basic, your Tylenol, your ibuprofen, nose spray, stuff like that. Kind of have your stocked emergency kit. Everybody should have, you know, I keep my car stocked with basically all this stuff, and I keep generics of all this stuff stocked at home. Kind of as, you know, what do you want in a bug out situation, emergency? What do you want to have with you? So bring generics with you.